Hey guys, it's Dave. And today I'm going to talk about why vulnerability makes us have more conflict with each other. So, as we get closer with our partners, we affect each other more deeply. My feelings get deeper, and I feel from a deeper place inside me. And that's really a good thing, because, like I've said before, being in a relationship is for the purpose of healing ourselves and our partners. So the deeper we can get, the more we can unlock that pain and those old negative patterns and bring them to the surface and explore them more, and that way, heal them. And so as you commit more, you will feel like, usually right after you have a moment of commitment, of increased commitment or increased feeling of safety, there will be, following that, the next time period could be like a day, a week, a few weeks, where the conflict is really hard and you're always fighting about core place issues. And here's the thing, feeling from deeper inside yourself means having feelings from further in your past, closer to when you were born, to the beginning of your life. And it's harder to resolve fights when you're both feeling more deeply and from deeper in your past, because you're more self-centered. Because in the moments when those patterns were created, you were very young, and you didn't really have a concept of doing any work to get your needs met. Your parents or your caretakers did all of the work for you. All you had to do was cry, and they would have to figure it out. And then they would do the work for you. And that's associated with deep, deep feelings, because those happened at the same time, right? That's in your brain, those were created, those structures were created at the same time. So that's going to happen. You're both going to be trapped in these very, very young places, and you're both going to feel like, I don't want to help him or her. I don't care what's wrong with them and their pain. I want you to help me. And so this is something that I like to call the acute power struggle, right? The power struggle is a term from imago therapy, where basically you're struggling to get your needs met and not meet the other person's needs, right? Or not do work for it. And the acute power struggle happens right after you have a moment of commitment or increased safety in the relationship. And so how do you come out of this? Now this is a really tough question, and me and my girlfriend just went through an acute power struggle it lasted for maybe a week. Before it, for 2 weeks, we were like, just everything was sunshine and flowers, and it was like we were just totally in sync, totally connected. We were hugging and holding each other every night for a long time, and then all of a sudden, it like kind of stopped, and we started having core place fights every day for a week, and we couldn't resolve these fights. We just kept fighting, and then sort of instead of really playing them out all the way, we just were like, this is a core fight. I don't know what the hell to do now. Let's just sort of take some time to think about ourselves. We don't have to finish this. Let's just separate for a little bit, And we lived together, so we were in just the same room but not talking to each other. And so we would do that sometimes for these fights, in order to, because we knew that fighting more would not really solve anything. We would just hurt each other more, and that's not really the point. So this went on for about a week, and it's not the first time, right? We've had this before. But I kept thinking about it. I wanted to figure out, how do we move out of this stage and move back into a loving, healing stage? And honestly, I think I don't know how to get out of the acute power struggle, because with these deep feelings, I think it just takes time and persistence, where you keep thinking, oh God, we're in this acute power struggle. Every fight is going to be a core place fight, and have the fights, have them come up, and then just be like, we can't settle this now, but try to come together. And try to be vulnerable, and try to talk about your childhood and not blame the other person, right? And just being persistent with that, and constantly reminding yourself that you're in an acute power struggle and that your fights are core place fights will eventually lead you out of it. Eventually, those deep feelings will kind of, once you experience them enough, they will sort of subside. And you will come back to your more adult self where you can hear the other person's complaint, the other person's negative feelings, and hear their childhood memories and feel like, oh, I care about this person so much and I want to help them. Right? And I think that's just persistence and letting the feelings come up and express themselves. And, once we came out of it, it broke because I don't remember what the fight was about, but I remember that we were talking about our childhoods and we were talking about our core places and describing them to each other. And we felt like, oh, yeah, I really see that you have this deep pain in you and I have this deep pain in me, and we need each other. And that needing each other and saying, well, I need to do some work to help you in order to help me, right? I want my needs met, but I want you to meet your needs too, and I want to help you with that so you can help me with that. And that's how it happened. So, like I said, just you got to let it happen. You got to let the fights come out. You got to recognize that they're core fights and try not to hurt each other more. Try to say, oh, this is a core fight. We can't really do anything about it, but let's take some time apart and try to reconnect when we feel maybe like we can. And just be with it and have faith that it will stop eventually. Okay, hope that helps. Talk to you next time.